There's little things floating in the air here. What the heck?
Uh-oh, what's
Okay.
that?
I don't know what that is. Cat hair. My cat, her hair is in the air everywhere all the time. Constant cat hair floaters floating around.
Awesome.
But you got to love those cats. You know,
I do.
I'm willing to put up with a few little floaty hairs because she's worth it.
Yes.
So.
Love those kitties.
Yeah.
So what's happening?
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm getting ready for my meditation workshop on Sunday, which is really exciting because I'm going to get to teach hopefully unlimited amounts of people how to ground center, protect, and meditate properly. Which is important, you know, during these times, because we're going through tumultuous times. Everything is crazy right now. And honestly, the only thing that's gotten me through all of the horrible, traumatic crap in my life has been the ability to meditate. Without it, I would have died a long time ago, honestly, because meditation is what cured me of an anxiety disorder. Meditation is what cured me of panic attacks that were like debilitating. I had debilitating panic attacks after my children were born. When I was a new mom, I just started having massive anxiety and panic. I think a lot of it was because I had no support system at all back then. I had nothing. And I was arguing a lot with my spouse. We weren't getting along so great. And I had little kids, and it was really, I was just had a lot of difficult stuff being thrown at me. And children don't come with an instruction manual. Being a parent is not easy in this world that we live in, this 3D disgusting world that we live in. So I was really anxious and started having debilitating panic attacks. And the only way I was able to cure myself was through meditation and cognitive behavioral therapy, reprogramming my brain, because the drugs that the doctors wanted to put me on, they had me on those drugs for about a year. It took me a year to wean off them, but they gave me horrific side effects that almost killed me. The side effects literally almost killed me. And the side effects were 10 times worse than the anxiety. So I healed myself using meditation. And if it wasn't for meditation, I'd probably literally be dead now, because I was so, you know, my whole nervous system was trashed. I have developed total adrenal burnout and all kinds of stuff. And the meditation really, really helped. So I went back to school and got certified to be a meditation instructor back in like 2009, something like that. And I started teaching meditation after I got certified around beginning of 2011, something like that. I started teaching actual classes to people. But I've been meditating actually over 25 years. I've been meditating. And I got to tell you, with all the crazy stuff happening on the planet and the high amounts of stress that every human is under, it's not just me and you. I mean, every single human on this planet is under whopping amounts of stress with this whole, you know, thing, the illness thing that's going around the planet. We're not going to say what that is because we don't want to get your channel jeopardized with the thing. And then this thing too. And, you know, all of the stress from all of these things that are going around, everybody's keyed up, and everybody on earth, their nervous system is ramped up right now from all the craziness. And then all of the energy, because the energy is changing and the frequency is getting higher and higher and higher. And for people who have always been third density fear-based people, it's very, very challenging for them to deal with these energies, because people like you and I who are light workers and who have always been you know, kind of 5D anyways, because there's some of us who have always been sort of 5D, which I call love, you know, love-based humans. Some of us, you know, we're dealing with this, you know, pretty good, seeing that we're being whomped with all this energy on a daily basis. But the normies, as I call them, or some people call them the muggles, people call them the sheeples, you know, sheeple I think is derogatory. I don't like to call them that. I'd rather call them normies, but it's a little less derogatory. You know, it's hard for their bodies and for their brains to deal with a lot of the stuff happening on the earth. And then of course, in the press and the mainstream media, they don't talk about the ascension. They don't talk about the fact that there's solar solar flashes hitting us all the time, these solar blasts, and that there's these energy changes, and there's the Schumann resonance. They don't talk about Schumann resonance on the news, which goes up and down. And every time it does, I will get phone calls, I will get text messages, I will get go onto all my groups on Facebook and see thousands of people literally bitching and complaining about, I can't sleep, I have headaches, I have this, I have that. Every time the Schumann resonance is going up and down, it's just crazy. And that thing just started changing with, I think back in 2012 or something is when that all started going crazy and shifting. And so everybody on earth is getting peltered with all this stuff, this, energy. And the only way that you can take care of yourself, well, I mean, I shouldn't say the only way you can take care of yourself. You need to, I phrase that wrong. The only thing you can do is self-care. The only thing you can do is lots of self-care. And there are different modalities that you can use to calm and center and keep your energy, even keeled, and to calm down your nervous system. And meditation is one of the best ways to do that. So I'm teaching a workshop on Sunday for that.
That's awesome, because I think, even if we explain it from the normie perspective, you get up in the morning, you go throughout the day, you go to sleep at night, and at night is when you're supposed to be rejuvenating. But with everything that happens between the 12 hours up and down, you don't realize how much you're in what we call the fight or flight sympathetic part of the nervous system, which is on, 10 and 2, 10 and 2. And you have to override that and kick into the parasympathetic nervous system, and that's connecting with your breath. It's through quiet meditation. You're literally overriding the adrenals, the nervous system, and having it kick in so that the cascade of amazing endorphins, serotonins, etc., can help. So I'm so glad that you're doing this on Sunday. And of course, it's 12/12. Good heavens. Got some lucky numerals there, girly.
Yeah, I purposely picked that date because honestly, everybody should be meditating on that day, because the power of that date is really incredible with the 12/12. It's a portal, basically. And when we say a portal, not a bad kind of portal, because you got the bad kind of portals you can open up and let demons in. We're not talking about that kind of a portal. We're talking about more of a manifestation portal. When you have these 11/11, 12/12 kind of numbers, it allows you to manifest what you want in your life. So you could literally go into a meditation and envision your life, envision the earth the way you want to see it. And we can all work together and make this happen, which is really, really cool. We can all, make all of our wishes and hopes and dreams happen if we all do this, if we all focus, if you use these dates and these energies, because it's an energetic portal is what it is. So it like gives you like a boost to create, because we are co-creators. We create with God, everything going on in our life. And by doing a meditation on these days, like 11, or even at the time, like if you chose the time 11/11 or 12/12, and you sat and you just envisioned your future the way you wanted, or envisioned peace on earth, goodwill to all humans and creatures, whatever it is. If you sat and you envisioned that, on 11/11 on the time, or on the date, or on 12/12 or something, it opens up a frequency that makes it happen even quicker and even faster. So it's very powerful.
Yeah, I call it like the magical amplifier. So every time something's going on and I see, the 11/11, 10/10, 3/3/3, whatever it is, I just smile and wink and just go, thanks. Thanks for that. It's just a magical amplifier to manifest. And, we are co-creators, and I don't think that many people take advantage of understanding the power in that. So, joining groups like your meditation and other things that you teach, stuff that I do, stuff other people do, can only enhance your life by furthering the information and teaching you some of the simple tricks to do. It doesn't have to be, I'm going to have a block of time for 3 hours. And, how am I going to do that? It's like, first off, when you do that, the 3 hours goes by very quickly. But secondly, it doesn't overload someone to think, I just don't have that chunk of time all these times. But if you can tap into it and carry some of the feelings and that peace and calm in the heart, it just overflows into everything in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So what time on Sunday?
It's 1 p.m. Pacific Coast time. So that would be the same as LA, San Francisco, Seattle time zone, till 4. And it's mostly instruction, all about, what meditation is, how to do it properly. What people don't understand, a lot of people think meditating means you just sit down, close your eyes and you meditate. It's really not that easy, because if you're doing it properly, there's so much involved. There's even a book called The Posture of Meditation, because if you don't have the correct posture, then you're not meditating properly. And there's an entire booklet written about it. It was required for my certification to be certified as a meditation and mindfulness instructor. I also teach mindfulness, and the meditation I'm going to be instructing on Sunday is mindfulness meditation. And what's really cool about this is you can use the mindfulness all day long.
Yeah.
So once you learn how to do mindfulness, you don't have to just sit in a meditation and do this work. You can do it in the shower. You can do it while you're eating food. You can do it while you're washing dishes. You can even do it while you're driving the car.
Yeah, and you can do it sitting at your work desk.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it when you're walking to the bathroom or doing anything. I agree. People need to understand that this is something you can incorporate all day, every day. And once they start doing it and tapping into how they feel about that, their sleep and many other things will improve. And the overall immunity of the gut, everything else begins to improve.
Yeah. And they also learn, well, there's tons and tons of benefits to meditation. Of course, mental health, physical health. They've done scientific studies on monks that show that their gray matter in their brain actually grows from meditating. It actually gets more gray matter in their brain, which is your ability to think, your brain power basically gets better. So your brain grows when you meditate. I mean, how cool is that? And they've scientifically proven it. Like, they did CAT scans on monks and they followed them over, like, I think a 10-year period or something like that, or however long. And they showed that their brain matter was actually growing, their gray matter. So that's really something, but it also, lowers your blood pressure. It helps you heal your body. It helps you open your third eye and connect with source, connect with your higher self, connect with your inner compass, your inner guidance. It helps you develop your psychic abilities. I mean, there's actually hundreds of benefits on the list of meditation, but when I list it out in my course and stuff, when I promote it, I only list like a handful of them. I don't list all the hundreds of benefits, but there are hundreds of benefits. And those benefits came from scientific studies. Those aren't just benefits that, are just somebody put up a bunch of stupid information just to sell something. I mean, they're actual scientifically proven benefits, because there's been so many science studies done on meditation. You have no idea how many research studies and trials they've done on meditating over the years. Lots and lots and lots, even probably just as much as those stupid drugs, which, they don't help you,
Yeah.
So it's really incredible. But for now, with this ascension, what we're going through, that is my go-to to get through this for myself. If I didn't have the ability to sit and do that every single day, or like I did it first thing this morning after I woke up, I meditated. If I didn't do that every single day, honestly, Sandra, I don't know how I'd make it through, because I'm getting attacked by my family, my husband and my children now, like every single day. They're trying to force me to get this thing. And they're yelling and screaming at me all the time because they don't know what I know. They don't believe in me and what and they don't believe in any of it, because they only believe what they hear on the news. When I go to them with information, their answer is, if that's true, it would be all over the news. That's our answer. They said, if what you're saying is true, it would be on the news. And then they're yelling at me every day that if I don't get one of those things, I'm going to, you're going to die, and everybody's going to get this, and this thing is here to stay. And more of those V's are going to be created. The VARIANTSs are going to keep coming out, and they're with us for the rest of our life. And, this is the rhetoric I'm hearing. And the reason I'm speaking this on this video is because almost everyone out who's watching this right now has one or more friends or family members who are opposing them in the same way. Okay.
Yes. And we just had Thanksgiving, and it was a common denominator among many, as well as we have the, other holidays up and coming. And so where a family might be drawn together, there's a lot of anxiety and angst that's just stirring the pot right now. So, yeah, I think that it should be addressed because it's very painful, and people, become the victim of it, or they feel left out, or, they're being shamed and guilted for the way that they feel, instead of having a little bit more acceptance and love from the heart, because we should all just respect where we are at the moment. And if you don't have all the information, don't start pointing the finger and throwing up on someone else with your point of view, and vice versa, And it's not just pointing, it's a poke, it's a hit you over the head.
My family tries to literally club me to death. I swear to God, spiritually, they spiritually club me to death, and I have to go away and I have to meditate and I have to surround myself in protection all the time. And I really, really recommend that everybody learns techniques, to protect themselves, whether it's holding on to, selenite or, tourmaline, black, I got all this black tourmaline around me, or shungite, I got shungite, I got all this stuff around me. I surround myself. I wear my Merkaba all the time to keep my Merkaba, my light body, strong and protected. So you have to bring on all the protection. You have to bring on all the devices, all of the skills, all the tools. You have to bring your A game to this whole nightmare dystopian horror movie that we're all going through, because we're all going through this dystopian nightmare together. And in order for the light to continue winning, we need to keep our frequency and vibration super high. And the only way we can do that is you have to bring all your tools out of your tool belt. Like, you literally need to take your tool belt and just start pulling out all your tools. And I mean your spiritual warrior tool belt. You need to arm yourself with a spiritual warrior tool belt, a sword of light. Ask Archangel Michael to give you a sword of light so that you can battle all of this, and you use that sword to cut cords between you and these family members and friends that are harassing you daily, or even if it's people harassing you on Facebook or harassing you on YouTube. I get attacked. A lot of the light warriors, we get attacked because we're speaking truth on our videos, and people in the dark doesn't like it, and the normies don't like it. So then I get nasty, people coming after me or whatever. And sometimes they send what they call gang stalkers after light workers. I saw somebody post on Facebook the other day, something I already knew, that they actually hire these gang stalkers to go, they make lists of light workers, and they actually target them and go after them with these paid gang stalkers. And it's a thing because I have friends who are victims of that. And I've been a victim of it. I've been interviewed on people's shows where I had it was the same people too that were attacking me and following me. They were actually following me, the same person, from video to video to video, and attacking me on all the videos. And I kept having to block them everywhere. But the people who were interviewing me, I would have to call them and say, you need to block this guy because he's following me from video of the same one guy. And there were a couple of women too that were just following me from video to video to video. And so we're all having to deal with all this opposition right now. And so you have to arm yourself with the warrior's tool belt and a sword of light. You have to do it. You just have to. And you have to meditate every day, and you have to do self-care every day, and you have to do whatever it takes to take care of yourself, to keep your vibrational frequency really, really, really high, Yeah,
I mean, I get up in the morning and check in to see how much of an energetic spiritual athlete I'm going to be that day. What do I need? Where am I going? What's up? And so I try to be as flexible and yet as adaptable as I can. But as an athlete of spirituality, you're always on your A game. But the A game requires, do I need a little bit more here today, a little less over there? So you got to bob and weave. But, to your point, sometimes the bigger you get, the more that you're noticed. Now, this goes across the board for everything. And as soon as you begin to speak up, and those that are on the opposing side or don't agree with you, or perhaps maybe not even understanding, they retaliate in ways that can be devastating to the other person. And so when we get up on our soapbox, our spiritual God source soapbox, to be able to share and speak, right? we know it's coming, but we just protect ourselves. And it's like, okay, so you don't agree. Bye. You don't have to keep throwing daggers at me. Just go somewhere else. And some of these ones that are doing a lot of this are AIs, they're computer AIs. And it's really difficult to go in there and find the bugs. And I mean, it's across the board. I've heard many people talk about it. So I get it. They get it. That's a good point.
It's hard. They want to take us down. The more you get out there, and it's funny because literally the very first YouTube interview I ever was on, the very first one was Spiritually Raw. And that was before I even started my own YouTube channel. I think I don't even think I might have started my channel then. I don't remember if I did. I don't know if the chicken or egg came first with that, but I shortly after started it, or else I started right before. But my first interview ever was on Spiritually Raw with April and Jay. Mm-hmm. And I immediately got attacked by tons and tons of people. And that was my first experience ever being on it. And that was back a couple of years ago. And that was my first experience being interviewed, in recent times, because I've been interviewed on all sorts of, I was even interviewed on ABC radio back when I launched my first book back in 2016. I was on like 200 or 300 different podcasts and radio shows and YouTube videos. But at that time, nobody ever was attacking anyone back then. Like I got 0 attacks on anything, anywhere. It was only positive feedback. I never ever got anything negative. And so it was weird for me I went away from that business. I'd shut that business down for a while, and I was a travel agent for a while because I wanted to be able to travel the world. And so I went back to college again and got certified to be a travel agent and did that for a while. And then I got laid off because of COVID. But shortly before I got laid off, I started back up doing what I was doing before with healing people and guiding people and all that. I started it back up again. And so my first interview out of the gate, like a horse out of the gate, was with April and Jay. And I was immediately attacked by a bunch of these trolls, and I was horrified. And I had a kind of low self-esteem at the time, and not because I had low self-esteem, but because I was just starting off. Okay, so I was a newbie. I was like
you're vulnerable.
I was really vulnerable because I wasn't used to being attacked because it had never happened to me before. I've been counseling people my whole life. I've been counseling people since I was 12 years old, unofficially, and officially I've been counseling people for the last 25 years. Okay, so that's a long time. And in 25 years, I've only gotten positive feedback from everybody I've ever helped. There's only been one person who was unhappy with me, and that person was actually a really nasty person. And after that whole thing, I realized I have to vet my clients because I can't handle what I call negative energy vampire people. I don't take them on as clients anymore. And what I know is everybody I work with, I only get nothing but positive feedback. Okay. So that's what I'm used to. I'm used to getting all these, wonderful positive remarks with people saying, thank you, you would change my life so much. And, blah, blah, blah. And here I go on this interview with April and Jay, and all these trolls come after me. And I'm like, whoa, what the hell? I feel like and I feel like I'm being put up on a cross like my boss, Yeshua. I felt like I was literally being persecuted and crucified like Yeshua. And I'm like, what the heck is happening here? And then I realized this is all part of this whole ascension thing because we're going through the collapse of the old dark system, and we're going into the new light of the new world, and the new, the new, what we call New Atlantis is what a lot of us are calling it. We're resurrecting Atlantis, because back in Atlantis, everybody lived in peace and harmony, and it was the Garden of Eden on earth and all of that. Mm-hmm. And so the dark side doesn't want the light forces and the light workers doing this work. They don't want us here. They don't want us doing what we're here doing. And so now they are coming for the throats, literally, of every light worker that they can. So they come after you on Facebook, they come after you on Twitter, they come after you on, Telegram, they come after, anywhere they can come after you, YouTube, and they demonetize you, or they, whatever, they do all this. And because we're in a war right now, we're in a spiritual war. We weren't back when I was, doing interviews back in 2016, we were kind of in a spiritual war, but nothing like it is now. nothing like it is now. Now we're in hardcore spiritual warfare right now. And so that is why all the light workers are, and the truthers also, the people who are what we call the truthers that are out there, the patriot people that are out there on Facebook and all of that, they're getting attacked, they're getting shut down. I have several friends like Salini, who they've been shutting her down. They've been putting her in Facebook jail almost all year long. She's only been allowed to be on Facebook a couple times over the past year. They keep jailing her over and over and not allowing her access, to her page because she's spreading the truth about the children. Her whole thing is all about getting the children free because she was a victim of abuse and everything. And you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, Salini Terry Apodaca. She was a victim of the ritual sexual abuse and all that. And her whole thing of why she's here as a light warrior is to free the children and save the children and do all that kind of thing. And so they keep attacking her like crazy. She gets attacked from, I'm on the phone with her sometimes and she's telling me horror stories of all these awful things happening to her. And her and anybody else who's trying to save the children or trying to spread info, all of the medical people that are on social media that are trying to spread the truth about the lab created thing and this,
Right.
all of those medical people are all getting censored, deplatformed, attacked by trolls. We're in a war. We're in a huge war here. People don't understand that World War III is not a nuclear war. It is a combination of a biological war because they use biological warfare against us when they launched that thing on us.
Yes.
And then this thing, that's biological warfare. And we're in a spiritual war. And my best friend, whose grandma was the most amazing psychic, a gypsy lady I ever met in my life. She was just amazing, little Greek grandma. She was the most accurate prophet psychic I had ever seen. She told me who I was going to marry and how many kids I was going to have back when I was just a young little pumpkin head. And everything she said was true. She told her granddaughter, my BFF, she said, World War III is not going to be a nuclear war because my best friend was afraid. She was afraid of, really, really afraid of the whole nuclear thing because everybody was. They were, spreading a lot of fear about nuclear. She told her, she said, World War III is not going to be a nuclear war. It's going to be a biological war with biological weapons. And she said the reason why is because if they nuke the planet, then they destroy themselves too. They destroy everything. Everything's gone if they do that. But they want to be in control. It's all about having a group of people to control and manipulate and turn into a dystopian nightmare society. And so that's why they use biological warfare, because they eliminate the people they want to eliminate and as many of them as they can. And they get the population down to this little small amount that they can control and turn into robot slaves and, that type of thing. So now that's, I'm not saying this to scare people because this isn't going to happen. Just so you all know, what I'm saying is never going to happen. This is what they wanted to happen. This is what they intended to happen. But the light has won, and we have good guys behind the scenes that are taking all this whole narrative completely apart and destroying it. But the truth is going to keep coming out to show the normies and to show everybody this is what these people want for you. And this is what they wanted to do to you, because that truth has to come out. So it's going to look scary for a while. But just know in your heart and in your soul and in your spirit connection to God that God wins, God has already won, and that God has our back always. And none of these things that they have planned will ever be allowed to unfold. None of them.
Yes. And we are all full participants and responsible for our energy fields and what we do in our physical actions as well. So a lot of this turmoil is created so we're fighting against each other. And some people really, if they were to sit back after the screaming, yelling, whatever rallies that they call it, whatever, sit back and actually sit down and say, what were you fighting about? 9 times out of 10, people are like, I'm not really sure. I thought it was this, but then it turned into that. And then this happened and that happened. But they're counting on us to destroy each other as well, and to continue to place separation, not only in individuals, but within groups, with zip codes, counties, states, countries. They want everyone to, have these borders.
Yeah.
And,
colors.
The only way to know how you are really to participate is to stop, drop, sit, connect with that breath, do some meditations, really turn on your authentic dial, and then be in that, own that. And then you will find that you aren't so connected to that group and you aren't so connected to that. And then you begin to just really hone into who you are, of the me, myself, and I, of the God, creator, source that we are. So yes, that in of itself, that light is winning for sure. And there are many things that we don't have privy to. There are some people that can report on what's happening here. There's some people that can do that. I'm being told to stay in my alignment, in that peace, and to understand and recognize and acknowledge distractions. Mm-hmm. And then ask, is this something I need to pay attention to, or is this something that is not mine? And then move from those footprints all day long.
Yeah, it's funny that you said that, because that's the same instruction my team gave me. Literally the same. They literally told me, stay in my own lane, just keep going straight in my own lane, down my own path of ascension and growth, and keep teaching my clients how to, ascend and help them through the ascension, and not look at the stuff going on. And the biggest thing I'm teaching my clients right now is I'm giving them this homework of making a list of all the things that they have control over in their life, and making a list of all the things they don't, and having an ongoing list of when they hear something terrible happening on the planet, the first question you ask yourself is, do I have control over this? And if the answer is no, then you need to turn it over immediately to God. You just let go and let God, because if you don't let go and let God, it's going to eat you alive. Like, it will literally make you sick, because 98% of illness is caused by emotional stress, which is why I wrote my first best-selling book, which is all about getting rid of stress. So the thing is that emotional stress, if you sit there and you go, oh my God, there might, like, the latest thing now is there might be a war at the border of Ukraine between the NATO and US troops and Russia. Well, that's all more distractions that they're putting in, they're putting out there. It's more distractions that they're creating, because I know that Vladimir Putin and all of these leaders all signed agreements with the good guys, with what I call the white hats or alliance or whatever you want to call them. I know that they signed agreements. And even if they are having a war at the border, what all are they going to do? Because the good ETs, what we call the galactics, are not going to allow them to use nuclear weapons. In fact, even on the television, if you watch the show called Ancient Aliens, or any of the shows about alien disclosure, there's all these shows on alien disclosure. They're showing you that the ETs go over the tops of these nuclear missile silos, and they literally disarm them. They stop them. They just shut them down. So they will not allow, the good ETs will not allow us to blow our planet up. It won't happen. It will not happen. You will not see a nuclear weapon ever happen on this planet ever again. It won't happen. So that's one of those things that you say, do I have control over this? If you hear this info, oh, there's going to be a war here, there's going to be a war there, there's protesting on the streets of Rome, there's this and that. Ask yourself the question, do I have control over this or not? And if you don't, you need to immediately get it out of your brain, because it will literally eat you alive. It will literally make you physically sick. If you keep that kind of crap stored inside of you, you need to only focus on the things you have control over in your life, which is your body. You can take care of your body, the food you put in your mouth, the beverages you drink, things like smoking. You shouldn't be smoking cigarettes, because that will kill you. You have control over these kinds of things. You have control over all of that. But you don't have control over what's happening in this country and what's happening in that country. You don't have control. What you can do, though, to help it, there is one thing that you can do to help all of these things happening that bother you or upset you or make you angry or mad. Like when you hear about the children or anything like that, you can pray. Prayer is our superpower. It is our superpower. So you can lift your voice up, your thoughts up to God and to the angels, to the angel armies, to the archangels, to the ascended masters, and you can ask them to intervene and to do something about this thing that you don't have control over. So it's not just, oh, forget about it. There's one more step in there, and that step is, when you give it over to God, pray. Use your voice, open your mouth and pray, because it's 100 times more powerful when you pray out loud. Plus, your guardian angels, your guides, the ascended masters, the archangels, they're not allowed to read your thoughts because your thoughts are private. The only being that can read your thoughts 24/7 is God, because you are connected to God 24/7. You never cease in your connection. So if you want these angelic beings that are here to help us to help you, they have a rule of non-interference unless you ask. So you use your mouth out loud and you say, please help the earth. Please get rid of the evil political systems. Please get rid of the dictators. Please get rid of the wars. Please get rid of famine and starvation and poverty. Please free all the children, and please get rid of all the pedos off of our planet. Please get rid of all the traffickers off our planet. Please purge, clear, and cleanse all of the evil off this planet. That is what you can do. You have the power to ask for these things. And when we human beings all get together with one voice and we all come together in prayer, do you know how freaking powerful that is?
Oh, yes, I do.
It is so powerful. We can create, we can do magic. We can be like Merlin the magician on steroids if all of us get together and do this prayer together, because where two or more are gathered, you just need two or more people to be in agreement on the same intention. Like we intend that we're going to have a really happy week, whatever, if Sandra and I could sit here and we could get together and we could be in agreement that we're both going to be happy and healthy all the way into our future. Okay. We're going to have ceaseless happiness, joy, and health, right? We put our heads together and we say that together. And guess what? It's going to probably happen for us, most likely, because the power of two or more is really, really powerful. And then if you say 100 or more, or 1,000 or more, or 100,000, if we had like 100,000 people all praying for world peace at the same time, you're going to probably create some world peace, because it's super powerful. It's really, really powerful.
Well, I think the more messages like this that get out about, your power is not outside of you, the way many have been entrained to believe. And if what belief system you have, if you can't admit the fact that it's been distorted, diluted, it's been delusionalized everywhere into what people think is truth. And if you stop and think about all the belief systems all over the world, everybody has one thing in common. They all want peace. Most people do. Higher vibration, to be happy. And the more you can collaborate on that with others for the highest good, which really the highest good is harmony, it's balance for what might be needed in your life, what might be needed in my life, what might be needed in someone else's life. So for that highest good, and let go, let God, and so it is. You trust that it is. But as we know, energy changes, we change. And so we have to continue to up our game, talk more, be vocal. I have spoken out loud to my spirit guides and God since I can remember. And I remember my sisters and others going, oh, aren't you supposed to be doing that? You're not supposed to talk to them like that. And I go, well, they're me. I'm having conversations with them like I do myself, right? And so I always say I'm never alone. I have my higher self, which is me, my guide team. So I have as much power, whether I was alone in a room or I was in a room with 100 people. It still echoes out to the universe with the vibration and in the intention of love.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Girl, I'm watching your eyes. You're like, whoo, I'm getting on fire here. And by the way, if you all don't know, Kimberly and I can do that. So when you get people together that are like-minded and trying to really be of service, right? And we're taking the time out of our day to be of service and do these videos and plan, meditations and sessions and however we can to help. We're here really, truly to be of service to everyone that's listening. And we would really appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, and share. And join in on some of the excellent reindeer games that we have, so to speak.
That's right. Yeah. And speaking of reindeer games, with the holiday season going on, whether you're celebrating Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, whatever it is, that adds an extra layer of stress. It really adds an extra layer of stress. So what does that mean? That means you need to do your due diligence of doing even more personal care. Okay. Because you have to do self-care. We cannot, I don't know how many of you have ever flown on an airplane before, but I've flown all over the world, and the flight attendant, I used to call them a stewardess at one time, but they're called flight attendants now. They always say, put the oxygen mask on you before you put it on your toddler or baby or child that's with you, because the bigger you are, the quicker you pass out, from not getting enough oxygen, and you're going to pass out before your little baby will pass out because they don't need as much oxygen as you do. Well, it's the same in life. If you're going to be of service to your family, your friends, maybe your clients, you're doing some sort of a business, like you're self-employed, or you're doing something to serve humanity. Maybe you're a healer, maybe you're a doctor, maybe you're even a lawyer or a counselor, whatever. You have to do self-care. You have to take care of yourself first, because if you don't, you will get sick and you will die. And then you will not be here to take care of all those people that it's your purpose to take care of. And it's the same. It's even double the time when you add in holiday seasons or divorces or death in the family. Like, I just recently lost my brother. My brother passed, and he was my baby brother. And now I have no blood family left except my two children, the only blood family I have that I want to talk to. I have cousins out in the world, but I don't speak to them. I don't have anything to do with them. Not my fault, their fault. They don't like me because I'm not a normie. They're all normies who all got this thing, and they don't like me because I'm not, because I think outside the box. So I'm the outcasted cousin. I'm the cousin that's outcasted. So it's like, whatever. I hope they live their best life. I wish them well. But the thing is I went through a death, and that is really traumatic and stressful. And so what did I do? I bought myself a big heart chakra singing bowl. I bought myself a moldavite crystal, which is a green crystal that's really powerful for healing the heart chakra. And then I have a little bag that I created of heart chakra healing crystals. I've been doing work with that on myself, and I'm just working on myself like crazy because I have a lot of grief I'm processing. I'm processing grief. So whenever you're processing grief, maybe you're planning your daughter's wedding. My mom and I almost murdered each other when my mom was helping me plan my wedding. There's all of these occasions we go through in life. It's not just the holiday season. It's things like weddings, divorces, births. Maybe you're pregnant and your pregnancy is kind of rough. You're going through a difficult time. There's all of these things, these life events that happen to human beings on Earth. And each time a life event hits you, it's kind of like a wave. It comes in waves. So it will hit you, and then it'll be calm water again. And then another life event will hit you. When those life events, those waves come onto the shore of your being, you need to meditate, eat really healthy, get lots of sleep, drink lots of water, take lots of vitamins, exercise, move your body. Your body's not meant to sit behind a desk. They have tons of scientific studies proving that if you just sit on your ass all day and do nothing, you will keel over dead with a heart attack or high blood pressure really, really fast. Okay. So you need to get your ass up and move, even if it's really quickly, running to the bathroom in between computerings, you're on the computer and you take a break and you're going to the bathroom, maybe jog to the bathroom or something. You've got to do something.
Got to get the blood flowing.
Yeah, you got to get the blood flowing through your body to keep, so you don't develop metabolic disorder. Diabetes is like the #1 disease in America. Diabetes and heart disease affect probably most people in the United States of America. And we have the highest rates of that of anywhere in the world because we have a shit diet here. And all they do on all the TV commercials is show you fast food, soda pop, alcohol, candy, and sugar. That's all they push. They don't push vegan stuff. They don't push vegetarian. They don't push organic living. They don't push supplements that keep you healthy. They don't push eating a healthy diet. They don't push healthy foods. They don't push anything like that. What are they pushing? Fast food, soda pop, alcohol, sweet, candy and sweets, all of that. That's what they're pushing on you. And all of those are things that kill you really, really fast.
Well, yeah, because
So
they're feeding the medical system is what they're
yeah.
trying to do, is feed the medical system and feed big farm,
Mm-hmm.
So that's how, these people make their money.
Mm-hmm.
They own the broadcasting system. So, hey, we're going to control this, and then we're going to tell you to have that. And then eventually you're going to come through this hospital door, this treatment door, or, you're going to need these meds. I have never seen pharmacy lines in every store so long than I have just in the past couple years.
Mm-hmm.
It is
It's horrific.
insane.
Yeah.
So
And
yes, movement, exercise, working on your diet, being mindful of where your body is in unison to the earth, to Father Sky, getting connected with that electromagnetics. We've been cut off from that by the rubber-soled shoes. Where, recess is cut back. When you're in an office building all day, you're getting very little, natural vitamin D. You're being told to wear chemical sunscreen. And now they're proving, well, I shouldn't say now, they've known, but then they've proved that the sunscreen, not only the chemicals are hazardous to your skin, but it's killing the barrier reefs around the world. And the barrier reefs are the oceanic breath of filtering. So it's just, and people are still going out and buying those things and getting those things and not looking at labels. And then they wonder why they feel like crap and they want to sit on their ass. Like it's too much work to go work out because they're condensed with everything they've injected. Yeah.
Absolutely. Can I address this for a minute? This is a good thing to share with everybody, because this is something I'm passionate about, because I've been a health coach for many years. I've been studying how to heal the body 35 years, trained in every type of energy medicine. I've been told by naturopaths who I coach that I'm a walking encyclopedia of natural medicine. Okay, here's the thing. I want to help you guys because I want everyone who's watching this to be healthy. I want you all to be healthy. They are showing scientifically now, they're doing science studies on all the people who have made it into the hospital with that thing that starts with the letter C. And they are finding that every single one of them who go to the hospital are severely deficient in vitamin D3. Where do you get D3 from? You get it from the sun. Well, what is the American Medical Association and Cancer Association has been telling you? They've been telling you to cover your body with the sunscreen that blocks the sun and to stay out of the sun. And what does that do? It depletes you extremely of vitamin D3. And D3 is necessary for a healthy heart, healthy vision, healthy metabolism, healthy blood sugar, healthy cardiovascular, healthy, blood pressure, everything. Like D3 and magnesium, those two things are like necessary for so many functions in your body. And so if you don't get enough D3 through a pill or through the sun, you're going to get that thing that puts you in the hospital, and you're going to be more likely to wind up in the hospital. Coroners did studies of the bodies of the people who died from that. And they said that every one of them had low to no vitamin D in their body. Okay. So vitamin D is necessary for a strong immune system. Why do you think they want you to cover up and stay out of the sun and cover yourself with these toxic sunscreens that are full of chemicals? They want to give you cancer, so you have to buy their chemo drugs and you have to go get their surgeries and you have to feed them financially. You give them all your money to their system, and they want to keep you sick long term. They want to keep you alive but very sickly as long as they possibly can, so that you will be going month after month and buying their big pharma drugs. Guess who owns mainstream media? Pfizer. Yeah,
I have no clue.
Yeah, Pfizer and all that. I mean, every commercial that you see pretty much on the newscasts are all Pfizer and drug companies. Okay. So it's all about the drug companies. Now, sunscreen is important, but after 15 minutes in the sun. So here is the scientific information on vitamin D3 from the naturopathic perspective. You need to get into the sun 15 minutes every day without anything on your body, no sunscreen, whatever. If you can do it naked, that would be great. There's some woman who did a video about naked sunbathing or whatever and how important it is for your body. But get out in the sun 15 minutes a day with, just some shorts and a tank top or something. You want your face exposed. After the 15 minutes are up, then you can either put a hat and like long sleeve, whatever on, or you can put on a naturopathic sunscreen, meaning like an organic one that's made from zinc oxide and stuff like that. I think it's zinc and titanium. I can't remember, but
Titanium dioxide.
yeah, there's these sunscreens that have been deemed safe for the coral reefs. They actually have in Hawaii, because I used to go to Hawaii a lot and I used to go to Mexico a lot and go snorkeling. Okay. And they have actual sunscreens that have been created to protect the coral reefs in the oceans. And they have environmentally safe stuff in it that's not only safe for the coral reef, but it's safe for you. It doesn't cause cancer. So the zinc is good for us. We need zinc. Most people are zinc deficient too, which is also the problem with the letter C thing, is everybody's zinc deficient. So if you put the zinc sunscreen on your body, like the lifeguards used to do with the white stuff on their nose, that was zinc, you put that on 15 minutes after you've already had sun. Now, the other rule with this is once you've been in the sun for 15 minutes, your skin needs an hour or two to absorb the vitamin D3 into your skin. So do not take a shower for like about an hour or two after you've exposed your skin to the sun for 15 minutes, because then you will get the D3 that you need from the sun every day. And that is why people who live below the equator have way lower incidences of melanoma skin cancer, lower incidences of prostate cancer, lower incidences of breast cancer, lower incidences of all kinds of cancers, lower incidences of multiple sclerosis, Lou Gehrig's disease, and all of those horrible autoimmune diseases. The people who live below the equator, like in South America, where they're in the sun, there's sun 24/7, there's just always sun. Those people have lower problems because their bodies are loaded with D3. Okay. You don't see people in Africa. You don't see the Maasai tribesmen in Africa running around with massive skin, sunscreen. And you don't see them with all these cancers and stuff. They live really old. If you go into these villages in Africa and you hang out with these people, you'll see all these little old people that are there. They're like 100+ years old, even places like Greece too, where they live. There's this one island in Greece where there's people who are 180 years old. It's like, whatever. They're in the sun all the time. They're not using sunscreen. They're eating a really healthy diet. They live off the land. They grow all of their own produce and they eat off the land and they eat healthy, diets in these places, and they live really long. They have a book on the blue zones, what are called the blue zones, places in the world where people live past 100 years old. There's a place in Japan, there's Greece, the Greek Isles, there's I think somewhere in Africa. I don't know all the blue zones. One of them, believe it or not, is in Southern California, in Loma Linda, California, because it's a Seventh-day Adventist community there. And the Seventh-day Adventists, part of their religion is, guess what? Taking care of the temple of the Holy Spirit. They exercise every day. Most of them are either vegan or vegetarian or whatever. They eat organic, they eat healthy, they exercise every day. And they really, really take care of the temple of the Holy Spirit. And so they are some of the longest living people on the planet because they do that. So if you want to not get diseases and viruses and sicknesses, and you don't want cancers, get out in the sun every day, take your vitamins, make sure that you go and get yourself tested to see what vitamins and minerals you're deficient in, and go and take those, and make sure you're taking magnesium every day. Every human on this earth just about is severely magnesium deficient.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to be taking 500 milligrams a day. And Dr. Artist talks about that on all his videos. I think Dr. Chris, what's her name?
Chris Northrup.
Yeah, Northrup. A lot of those doctors all talk about the importance of taking magnesium. My favorite doctor who has a video channel, what's his name? I just blanked out my brain because my brain's like going 360 miles an hour right now. So with my ADD, I tend to blank these out. But there's a Motivational Doc, which is a channel. It's called Motivational Doc. It's a channel on YouTube. He is a chiropractor, but he knows about everything and he's amazing. I follow all of his videos, but he talks a lot about taking D3, taking magnesium. He talks about this in all his videos. All of the holistic functional medicine doctors. Functional medicine means they get to the root cause of your illness and they actually cure you or heal you. They don't just keep you band-aided with drugs the rest of your life and keep you sick, paying $800 a month for your insulin. That's ridiculous. You know, you get
it is. And everything that you're talking about is mineral deficiencies. You know, your skin is your largest breathing organ, and it's literally your screen door. It takes in nutrients and releases toxicity. It's really what it's there for, outside of the fact that, of course, it houses this beautiful flesh and blood and protects it. So, you know, chemical sunscreen literally goes into the skin. The chemicals are soaked into the skin, and then they refract the sun from inside out. Okay. Whereas the titanium and the zinc are natural minerals. They're put on to just immediately block, but they're healthy for the skin. They can be put on the skin after, you know, any kind of facial trauma. But everything that you're talking about, the magnesium, the zinc, and so on. And I believe that they used to make silverware out of real silver.
They did.
Because every time you used it to eat, you got a little bit of the silver minerals and things in there too. And just plain zinc is fine, although it leaves a nasty, ugly, you know, white undercast, which is why the titanium adds some color to it. So foundations, I mean, not only am I a medically trained Esty, I've been in cosmetic sales for a lot of years. And I didn't go in to sell, I went in to educate. So when I went into these department stores and med spas and so on, it was about educating you on the importance of taking care of your skin, which is also taking care of your body, because it's an organ. It's like your liver, it's like your spleen, it's like your stomach, it's like your intestinal, your heart, it's your brain. You know, it's so all these products with synthetic crap in them, start paying attention. And if you can't make a lot of changes, make some little tweak changes. What lotion am I using on my body? You know, what am I doing? You know, and all these chemicals that we're putting on our babies. You know, this is lavender stuff. It's so good. No, it's a synthetic, stinky smell of a lavender chemical that you're putting on your innocent child's baby fresh skin is what you're doing. So yes, we do need to take stock of that. And you're absolutely right. We need to educate and share. And, you know, I think one of the things that always seems to come back to is this mindful thinking. And if you can be mindful, now, how do you be mindful when you've got a million frickin' things you're responsible for? You learn how to meditate. It's not as complicated as many people want to make it out to be.
Nope.
It is something that you can do. So if anybody on that's watching this now, or even knows somebody that's not watching, share this video. See if you can get into Kim's meditation on Sunday. It's 1 Pacific time, which makes it 4 o'clock Eastern time. Just look at your clocks, see if you can join. And it's not just a meditation that you're going to be like, okay, what's happening in my life? It's literally, how do you incorporate that throughout your day?
Yeah, it's a whole instructional class. It's lots of information on what you do with your brain, your thoughts. It's brain training. Like, this class that I'm teaching is not just meditation. It's teaching you literally how to control your brain properly. And, you know, I mean, it's just so much. Your posture, which is going to help your posture. It's going to help you with so much. Like, there's so many aspects to it, and it's going to be recorded. So if you can't make it at 1 o'clock, you can still sign up and you can watch the recording later. I'm not giving out notes to anyone. So you're going to want to watch the recording, because the first time you watch it, you may not take notes fast enough, and you may want to replay it several times on the recording and pause it and take better notes. So that's important for people to know that it will be recorded. But the reason why you would be there for the live is because the people who are there on the live are going to get to ask me questions, right? You know, in real time. They're going to be having a chit chat with me. So at the end of the class, everybody who's there will be able to ask me all kinds of questions about what I just discussed in the class. And if you miss that, you won't be able to ask me those those questions. You can email me later. You can email your question, but it's always more fun when you can ask and get an answer right there and then. And you can hear other people, what they're talking about as well. It's really fun to be able to do that. So if you can make the live, great. If you can't, don't worry, still take the class, because you're still going to get all the same information. You're just not going to be able to ask me a question right there at that second. So
well, awesome. Well, before we end, is there anything else that you would like to share with our viewers? I know that you're going to post some links out. I'm going to post your links out. But is there anything else that you would like to share?
Thanks. The only thing I want to say is there's a lot of really negative stuff that is in the news and in the social media, and it's coming from both sides. Okay. We've got negative stuff coming from the truther people that are putting really negative stuff out right now. And then we have negative stuff coming out in the media every day. You turn on the news, you see school shootings, you see guys running over people at a parade, you see all these horrible, it's really horrible. And my heart goes out and my prayers go out to all the families of all the people who were harmed, definitely every time, I pray for those people, but they keep creating these things to traumatize us, because then it lowers our vibration. The more they can traumatize humanity, the more they lower us and keep us out of ascension. So the important thing that you need to focus on right now is the ascension. We're going to 5D. And in order to ascend and go to 5D, you have to stay in a 528 hertz, which is love or higher frequency. You need to be loving, kind, compassionate, respectful to yourself and everyone else that you encounter every day. People who are narcissistic in their ego, not nice, murderers, rapists, killers, all that, those are all the 3D people. They will not be ascending with us. Okay. So it's really important that right now, no matter what you hear on the news, no matter what you see on social media, that you stay in your own ascension lane and work on yourself daily, work on your spirituality, listen to Sandra's videos, listen to her videos, listen to my videos, look at our posts on social media. Her and I are constantly posting important information and uplifting stuff to you to motivate and uplift you and make you feel good, healing information. This is what we're getting out there. So pay attention, not just us, but people like Eldora and Saman and Alexander Quinn. Nicholas Veniamin's got a great channel with all kinds of amazing people that he brings on there. Listen to some of these people and get some upliftment. Don't just listen to all this negative stuff that's out there. You need to give it over to God. Literally do a homework assignment where you write a list and say, what do I have control over? What do I not have control over? And the minute something comes into your consciousness field that is negative, ask the question, do I have control over this negative thing? And if the answer is no, you need to pray on it and give it over to God. And that is my final my final advice of the day.
And the best way to understand what's healthy for you is to really connect with the breath and to take the time to learn, how do I connect with my authentic self, my soul self, my heart self, not just running to and fro all day. So, I applaud you for doing this meditation class, and to be an interactive teaching meditation class. That is awesome. And I'd like to see more of those and more of us not only participating, but hosting these, because everyone has, the agenda to create harmony and balance within each other. And it starts with me. It starts with you. And that's what we have control over, is what is happening in our energetic fields. And what I call the crystalline egg with all your zones, that is your responsibility, not what someone's doing over there or back there or over there. And until you get mindful, you may not realize that all this incoming information is destructive to your inner everything, including your outer, because it creates the reactions within all the stuff that you're trying to process. So it has been a pleasure, Miss Kimberly Palm.
Thank you.
Once again. And
you.
We will do this again, maybe next month, we'll do it again, and we'll just keep talking about these things, because
sure,
we gotta we got to overpower the negative by putting out more uplifting.
Yeah, more positive, counteracting it. We have to
Yeah.
counteract it.
And there's only
it's
one
like counterintelligence.
Yeah, there's only one agenda. There's only one agenda. And that is to be of assistance through our God self to your God self. That is what we're here to do. We're here to be of service from our God self to your God self. And so with that, I'm going to say thank you so very much. I look forward to seeing you again on the next video.
Thank you for having me here.
Yes, and everybody have a wonderful, wonderful week.